Morning VC, it's Steve Whitty again reporting in with more of his recent vinyl finds. This is volume 45 now, I believe. If I'm wrong, I'll probably correct it on screen for you. Been not a bad week. Sort of catching up on myself a little bit. Playing lots of vinyl. Had the excuse to play Led Zeppelin's first album, as it was the 48th anniversary of its release on Thursday. So this video again is going to be more of my recent finds, more charity shop, and quite a few record shop purchases. Mixture of singles and albums, mixture of genres really. So starting off with the singles I brought. First one, Dancing in the City, Marshall Hayne. I remember loving this record when it first came out in '78. I thought it sounded very. You were in the city. It got that unique sound to it. It was something quite different to the singles that were out at the time, with the disco and all that. I thought it was great. I think it was a bit of a one-hit wonder. Now Kit Hain tried to go solo. It didn't quite work out for him. Second single I purchased is Tom Tom Club's Wordy Rapping Hood. Tina Weymouth and Chris France, the spin-off from Talking Heads. Big top 10 single in 1981. I have got a copy of the follow-up 12-inch Under the Boardwalk, and I think Genius of Love was another single they had. I thought it was great. It was different to what was around at the time. In fact, Tom Tom Club was so successful, I think they supported Talking Heads as well. So Tina Weymouth and Chris France were doing like double shift, probably not getting the same double money, but they were doing the same. Great single, all the same. These next few are definitely charity shop. These are charity shop rejects. You get anything for nothing, and they're classical. So the first one is Beethoven's Third Symphony Eroica. This is on the Allegro label. I think it dates back to 1958 or something like that. Part of their range. Plays, just scratch a little bit, clean it up. It's not too bad, not too bad at all. Then follow it up with another Beethoven's. This is Symphony Number 7 in A. Andre Cloutens conducts the Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra. Part of the Music for Pleasure range, Classics for Pleasure. Part of the Music for Pleasure label. Again, not too bad. It is what it is. Something I was pleased to pick up, and it was next to nothing. This is some vintage Billy Connolly. This is on the Pickwick label. This is basically five tracks. It's lead into songs basically, because Billy Connolly started out as a folk singer. He sang with Jerry Rafferty and the Humble Bums. Long before he became international celebrity he is now. This tells very much about life in Glasgow at the time, and I think it's recorded in front of a Scottish audience. It is particularly funny. Now, some might find this offensive. Is his version of the Crucifixion, where Billy Connolly puts it down. Galilee is sort of like is a misspelling of Gallagate. Jesus Christ is Scottish. The Last Supper took place in Glasgow. It is funny to listen to. I suspect he may not get away with it now. Maybe would, but I know some people would find that very offensive. I think they did then. Back to the music. I picked this up in Birmingham. This is Donovan's Greatest Hits compilation album, which has got a little bit of a booklet to it. There's Donovan in the Not Up by the Potty. Some photos there. It's on the Pie label. I think it came out about 1968, 1970, something like that. It's got all the major records: Mellow Yellow, Sunshine Superman, Hurdy Gurdy Man. The version of Catch the Wind is slightly different to the one that came out as a single. Jennifer Juniper's on there as well. I think when it came out on CD, there was slightly more tracks added to it. I suspect, as you did in those days, when CDs came out, you suddenly had 80 minutes of music, where really here at tops 50 minutes might be the most you could fit on. Something from my youth. This is Judas Priest, British Steel, from 1980. First album that featured Dave Holland on drums. This is by far their most successful album in the UK. Got the hit singles Living After Midnight, Breaking the Law, and United was a hit single as well. This came out and they got caught when heavy metal came really back into vogue with the new wave of British heavy metal, and it picked up some artists. I think Sabbath, when Ronnie Dio came in, he had an upsurging popularity. Priest certainly rode the back of it, and it helped. They took for the tour. They had Iron Maiden supporting them. And I think Priest signified the whole image. They, the leather studs, the heavy metal, and they said, they're from like the Black Country, Walsall area. And it's and they said, well, metal could only come. It was in our lungs, literally, because they were breathing the pockets of steel and the soot from the steelworks that were around at that time. It was around this time when the actual steelworks were starting to shut down around the Walsall area. Album was really pleased to pick up. Like my Queen, and I picked up Queen Live Killers. I think by far the best live album they did. I know Brian May says he could have done with a bit more production. They did hold back on the production, kept it as raw as they could, and I think it works for it. You don't want to be in like a Thin Lizzy Live and Dangerous, where you suddenly find yourself re-recording most of it just to make it sound more palatable. It's got it's album recorded to support their jazz album. So you've got Real Rock, You Let Me Entertain You, some medleys of like Death on Two Legs, Killer Queen, Bicycle Race, Love My Car. You got your Brighton rock guitar bit. I just think it's just a great live album. I think it showed them off because you get to listen to it without having to put up with the lights, and I think you do realise what a great band they are. And the Live at the Rainbow albums are good as well. I think they're worth checking out. Now, moving on, in the pound bins in my local record store, found a couple of to this artist. This is Cliff Richard and the Shadows. Cliff sings, and he's got the Norrie Paramore strings. And you could see and listen to this album. It starts off with him doing Blue Suede Shoes. You're getting all the rockers in. Then Norrie Paramore takes over, and you can almost sort of like softening him out a little bit to be a bit more palatable. It's got a version of Time Goes By on here. There's 20 Flight Rock. So each side starts off with a rock, and then it sort of like smooths itself out. It probably would have been better if it just had a rock and roll side one, and then an easy listening side two. But they're not bad at all. It's on the Columbia. Let me show you Columbia label, and show you how old it is. It's in like green and gold there. And this dates back to 1959, I think. Good album all the same. Not wrong with a little bit of Cliff. Now my mum would be smiling down on me just saying this, and she probably would even more on this, because also in the pound bins there was Cliff, Me and My Shadows, and this is more of a rockier record. I'm trying to think which songs that people would know. It's quite a lot of records. Some self-written records with Cliff Richard got on I Love You So is one he co-wrote with Samuel Harris. You've got some Hank Marvin and Bruce Welch numbers on there. I think Cliff and the Shadows go together. and I think because the Shadows were so strong, they managed to break out on their own as well. I think this is again a good record, an original copy on the Columbia record. Mono, as well as the other Cliff Sings Mono. I mean, those records, you can be beaten about a bit, but they still play, and that's an important thing. Another album picked up for £1. This is Squeeze, Sweets from a Stranger. This is the last album they made before they initially broke up in '82. And I suppose the big single, this was a single, it wasn't a big single, it was a minor hit, Black Coffee in Bed, which features Elvis Costello and Paul Young on backing vocals. There's one song on here, When the Hangover Strikes. Frank Sinatra actually recorded this. You could see Tilbrook and Difford going in a more mature direction, and I think at that time the audience didn't go with it. I think they wanted more songs like Call for Cats and Up the Junction, and weren't prepared. I think at that time a lot of bands, and I think the Undertones as well, weren't allowing the bands to grow up. They lost a fair bit of the audience. It was popular in America. I think it did headline tour with that album. Of course, they got back together in '87, and it's still going now, still going a going concern. This album I'm very pleased to picked up. This is John Barleycorn Must Die. This cost me £5. This album is on Island Records. It's actually on Island French. It's a French Island record label, and it's on their Pink label. Condition of it, it's okay. It's not the best condition, but it's a great album. I posted the picture of this on Instagram. I think Traffic were one of the best bands that ever came out of Birmingham. A bit of a super group at the time. With Steve Wood, Dave Mason, Jim Capaldi, Steve Winwood and Chris Wood. By this time, Dave Mason had left the band. So I just think it's just a great album. They were a great band. I think they pioneered the live in the country. Sadly, it's just Steve Winwood and Dave Mason left, and I don't think they get on very well. In fact, Dave Mason's been touring the UK. He's doing a thing called Traffic Jam, where he's playing his songs from Traffic, all from that Traffic era. So finally, the last album in this batch. This again is an oldish album. This is Best of Gene Vincent and his Blue Caps, all original recordings. Nobody knows what date it came out because it's not on Discogs, and I can't see anything on the record or anything. Gene Vincent, one of the more tragic figures in rock and roll, I feel, had a bad motorcycle accident, always walked with a limp, was always constantly in pain, and that probably led to him drinking and all that. I mean, a bit of a... He'd been known to be a bit of a dangerous character. He always liked playing with guns and whatever. But on the album, it ends with Bebop Aluli's big song. You got Pistol Packing Mama, Woman Love, and Chain Melody, Wear My Ring, Like I Love It. And it's all his stuff with the Blue Caps. And it's just really, it's a great rocking album. One of the pioneers of rock and roll. So that ends this video. I hope you enjoyed the finds. Feel free to leave some comments, click the likes or dislike. If you wish to subscribe, hit the subscribe button. Check your channel out and subscribe back. So enjoy the week. Until the next time, take care, VC. Keep